Real live streams that ended in mystery. The vanishing roommate. Devin Marks was a 23-year-old aspiring Twitch streamer living in Brooklyn. His content was mostly lighthearted, gaming marathons, just chatting, hangouts, and the occasional Q&A. He wasn't famous, but he had a loyal group of viewers who knew his roommates, his dog, even his favorite pizza place. On the night of August 2nd, Devin went live just before midnight for a chill gaming session. He looked tired but in good spirits, sipping from a large bottle of water and chatting casually with viewers. At 12:43 a.m., something subtle but strange happened. Viewers noticed someone, or something, briefly walking past the hallway behind him. Devin didn't react. When asked, he laughed and said it was probably Hannah, his roommate, grabbing snacks again. But here's the disturbing part. Hannah had left town 2 days earlier. At 1:11 a.m., Devin suddenly paused mid-sentence. His eyes widened. He leaned closer to his screen and said, "Okay, who just opened the front door?" Then the audio became warped. Static crackled over his voice. Devin stood up and walked off screen, calling out, "Hannah? Is that you?" What happened next has never been explained. There was a loud thud, a brief flicker of the lights, and then silence. The stream continued for exactly 18 more minutes. Empty. The room dimly lit. The chair still gently spinning. No one entered. No one left. When police were eventually called, they found the apartment undisturbed, except for Devin's room. The chair was knocked over. His headset was on the floor. His front door was still locked from the inside. Devin was never found. Hannah, when contacted, confirmed she was still in Vermont visiting her parents. Phone records, CCTV, and timestamps backed her story. The stream was deleted 48 hours later, but not before it was downloaded by several viewers. And on frame 14,397, just for a flicker, you can see what appears to be a hand reaching around the hallway wall. It's not Devin's, and it's not Hannah's. Nature content creator Brian Yates was an ex-park ranger turned solo adventurer, known for his peaceful, slow-paced wilderness live streams. He'd go off-grid for days, documenting survival techniques, wildlife sightings, and moments of raw solitude in Canada's remote regions. His followers loved his authenticity. If you want peace, his bio read, "Come get lost with me." On March 12th, Brian went live from a forest deep in Alberta. The feed showed a tranquil campfire, a tent, and the sun setting behind snow-dusted pines. He talked quietly to chat, answering questions about bear safety and the stars. Then, around 10:12 p.m., Brian froze mid-sentence. He looked behind the camera, squinting into the dark. "That's weird. I thought I heard someone." The next 30 minutes became increasingly unsettling. Viewers heard faint rustling from the trees. Then whispers. Then something that sounded like a woman softly laughing, even though Brian was supposedly alone for miles. He circled the camp with his flashlight, visibly shaken. "If someone's out there, this isn't funny," he said. "You could die out here at night." He returned to his tent and tried to resume the stream, brushing it off. But then came the sound that chilled every viewer watching. A second voice, almost identical to Brian's, whispered, "Come out here." Brian looked straight into the camera and whispered, "I didn't say that." Panic set in. He grabbed his camera and stepped into the woods. The stream, still rolling, showed him walking toward where the sound came from, trees narrowing, darkness closing in. At 11:01 p.m., the feed went black. His last words? "Is that me?" The official cause of disappearance was exposure. His campsite was found abandoned 3 days later. But Brian's body was never recovered. And to this day, viewers debate what happened during that final moment. Some say it was an echo. Others say it was a mimic. Whatever it was, it called to him. And he answered. Tasha Lane was a rising beauty influencer on Instagram, best known for her candid live streams and makeup tutorials. She had a fun, chaotic energy and rarely edited anything. That was her brand. On Halloween weekend, she went live to do a creepy clown makeup look while answering fan questions. Around 3,000 people tuned in, watching her laugh, contour, and sip iced coffee. About 40 minutes in, she leaned toward her mirror and asked viewers, Does this look even? The chat suddenly filled with messages. Who's that behind you? Wait, who's in the mirror? Turn around. Tasha turned, confused. No one was there. She laughed it off, blaming Halloween nerves. But viewers had seen something. In the reflection of her vanity mirror, for just 2 seconds, a figure stood behind her. Wearing what looked like an old-fashioned suit. It didn't move. It didn't blink. Tasha resumed the stream, unaware. But then something more bizarre happened. The figure appeared again, this time in her phone's front camera reflection, as she adjusted the angle. Terrified, she ended the stream. That was her last post. The next day, LAPD responded to a wellness check after fans reported strange behavior. Tasha's apartment was locked. Inside, everything was in place. Lights on. Coffee still fresh. Makeup left out. But Tasha was gone. Her phone remained on the counter. Battery drained. And in the photo gallery, a single, unposted selfie from the stream night. Tasha smiling. And behind her, just over her shoulder, that same man in the mirror. Closer this time. Each of these live streams started as a simple window into someone's life. Just another broadcast in a world full of them. But what they became was something else. Something darker. Moments that shouldn't exist. Questions that will never be answered. And maybe the scariest part isn't that something happened. It's that we saw it happen in real time, and still, no one could stop it.